Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Calamitus, and to do that, of course, it's only right that we have Felrus on to do it. How's it going, Felrus?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you, Nub?
Oh, I'm very good. I'm really interested to see what's happening here, because obviously you've been playing with Calamitus for months now. He was the first mythical you got on your account, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's been
Yeah.
almost a year since I got him now.
Oh my god, that's crazy. And you were a fan of him pre-buff. I got to test him out, but I didn't test his Form 1 before today. I was testing out Form 2 and was fairly impressed after the buffs. And he's actually, it looks like he's doing really well in Hydra. We're not going to focus much on it today, but how have you found his second form, and how's that been performing for you?
I, new sky high scores is what I'm gonna say about that. I can now almost get 1 billion Hydra Clash points just
Nice.
by hitting brutal. Because my clan doesn't have Nightmare unlocked yet.
Cool, cool.
But like that's Calamitus is doing over half of that damage, so
Hmm.
he's insanely good. He's insanely good. It was a very good, very solid buff.
Yeah, yeah. It always feels good, especially when it's a champion you already love and are
Yeah.
using. For them to get a buff then just pushes it to the next level. It's pretty sick. But yeah, let's look at his Form 1. So Form 1, I think this is definitely a slept on form for sure. But the thing that really draws me in about it is we've got this four-hitter, right? When we're looking at something like Chimera, we'll jump into your run in a second here. But four hits, block buffs, decrease defense, weaken, speed, decrease speed. I'm like, yo, those are four of the most important debuffs that I want for that single target boss. And he's bringing it on what I presume is going to be a very high damage dealer who is keeping himself alive with shield, providing his own increased attack. And yeah, I think he heal himself. He heals himself on something, right? This one heals him as well. So there's a lot in one kit that's going well. Let's jump in, and do you want to just talk us through the idea of this team? I see there's Calamitus over on the side. What is going on? And yeah, this is your Chimera run.
Yeah, so I don't put a lot of thought into my Chimera teams as a general rule. I
Okay.
find the boss extremely complicated, and I find Hydra much more fun.
Dude, I
The
teach you up
general,
I teach you up so well there, and then you're like, I haven't put any thought into it. That's
no, so
okay.
there's a little bit of thought. I mean, there's Bot Elkazar, right? He's giving us poisons, damage over time. His passive is also very nice, giving us an extra 20% damage boost.
Hmm.
Elba makes every single Chimera rotation because of the block debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown. And the increased speed. And then Podrick and Queen of Hearts give us healing, ally attack, decreased defense, buff strip, whatever else that they're bringing. It's pretty much a blitz through the run kind of team.
Hmm.
Do as much damage as possible, as fast as possible, because my Chimera champs aren't really all there, except Calamitus. I think Calamitus is one of the best champs actually for Chimera because of his A1 specifically. I think we can probably talk about that when we get to the Ram form.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. I just saw there his A2 went out, and yeah, that's sick. It's a bunch of big hits, all the debuffs that you want. Do you have Lydia on your account? Because I suppose that's one of the issues that you run into, I think, with Calamitus right now, is a lot of people are using Lydia on their teams, and that's where you get it. She brings a lot of the same stuff that he's bringing, but block active skills for Viper, and then the fear for the Ram. Uh, so like I definitely feel like Calamitus, he's one of the champs that is going to really improve in the future when we have more options that do those other things. But I think will happen. Oh, it looks like it froze for a bit, but that's okay. We'll jump on. You were saying about the RAM form. Let's jump on to going
Yeah.
into that. Yeah, tell me about his A1 for that.
So the A1 heals for the exact amount of damage, or even just a little more than the Ram form reflects. So as long
Ooh.
as he only uses his A1, the Ram form will never kill him. And now I know it's a huge issue that a lot of people run into, that their damage dealers just kill themselves. Well, Calamitus won't. He can even use his A2 on the Ram form because the shield will just eat all the
Ooh,
all
yeah, that's
the extra
nice.
damage. As long as he doesn't use his A3, he's pretty much fine.
Yeah, that's it. It might depend a bit on gear. Like if you give him absolutely bonkers end game gear, he might still die, but still it's a lot of survivability. Like That is actually insane. The self-healing and the shield. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Like, I use Ninja, and Ninja just he can't stay alive. Like, he will just die to any he can even start dying to just the ultimate form, especially when it's a bad affinity. If he gets crit, like Ninja will just get one shot, you're not gonna have that problem with Calamitus at all, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so cool. What other? I don't know. Does he do anything special for the other forms? Probably not. I guess with the Ram
Well,
targets him there, he's gonna die. Nothing you can do about that. But
yeah, I mean, there is one other thing. It's kind of a niche use. Again,
Hmm,
he and Lydia have a lot of similarities with this boss, right?
yeah,
They're bringing a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same debuffs. The exception being, Calamitus is a damage dealer. But if
yeah.
we actually go into his second form, he has a very odd use case against the Viper form. Um, and it's one that I don't think a lot of people will need to use, but it can be used to complete some trials. And that is his A1 here attacks one enemy, extra 20% chance of inflicting a critical hit. After attacking, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target. If the target is under a hex debuff before the attack, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target before attacking instead. And what you can do with this is stick a poison sensitivity on the Viper form and complete that trial with
Right.
Calamitus. Now, again,
Huh.
you don't need it if you have Lydia, but if you don't have a Lydia or you're not running your Lydia on your team, it can be a really interesting way to finish out that set of trials.
Yeah. So like you got the Viper poisons you, and you throw it all back. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sneaky. I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's always fun with these mythicals, like the trials that they open up. Because obviously, Hydra, Chimera trials are very much leaning towards mythicals because they just have twice as much stuff in their kits as a normal champion. Cool. All right. I dig it. Like I said, I'm very curious. I think that it. I personally would find it tough to give up my Lydia in Chimera, but like I said, when we go a bit, I would not be shocked at all if when we get another like good fear champion or another way for block active skills, and I'm sure that stuff will come in the next months. I wouldn't be surprised to see Calamitus not only potentially take her spot, but potentially jump up to like near the top of the leaderboards there because he is going to be bringing so much damage on top of it and the self healing, the self buffing, as you said. What sort of build were you looking at then for Calamitus? What sort of yeah? Do you have any relics for him? How's he looking?
yeah. Yeah, so we're looking at a couple odd sets. So he's a very stat hungry champion. As a
Yeah,
debuffer, he of course needs accuracy and speed, but he also needs the damage stats, right? So the way I have him built, I have mine at 6k attack with 248 speed, so a good chunk of speed on there. Not crit capped because he has an extra 20% chance of inflicting a
yes,
critical hit.
yeah,
With 274% crit damage and almost 400 accuracy now. As far
nice.
as sets go, I have speed, accuracy, cruel, and pinpoint. So not in any ignore defense gear other than the cruel, but that's just because he's so stat hungry. It's really hard to find
Yeah,
that much accuracy and speed without without using some of those sets, right?
yeah. Need
And then as
crazy
far
gear.
as a relic is concerned, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, you need kind of crazy gear and preferably like a big blessing to really
Yeah.
maximize these champs. Yeah, yeah.
As far as a blessing goes, I have him 4-star awakened. I was lucky enough to pull that soul with Nature's Wrath.
Yeah.
And along those same lines, I have the Arethi Coronet on him as
Ooh.
well. With let's see, the gemstone that wears crit damage increases by 3% for each debuff they're under, as well as an invigorated.
Mm, mm.
So just giving him some extra damage and extra turns as well.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just such a big hitter, you know? He's just
Yeah.
such a big hitter, and you can see scale so well off Nature's Wrath and the Arethi Coronet.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Where else are you using? I remember, like, obviously when you first got him, it was so early in your account. I'm sure he was everywhere. You still using him everywhere, like especially form one versus form two. Like, where do you use the two different forms?
Yeah, so Form 2 is fantastic for wave clearing. So especially because of his passive. His passive here scales his attack for each enemy under Hex. So what you'll do is you'll go in, he carries his own drop defense. So he'll go in, place the drop defense, place the Hex. He even pairs well with someone like a Mithrala, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
just has an AoE Hex. Um, and he'll scale, and then he'll just absolutely wipe waves. So One super cool use case for him because of that passive is the Spider's Den. So Spider Hard, he's on my team there. It's him, Thor, Kymar, Bodel, and Mithrala. Just absolutely nuking the heck out of Spider Hard.
Nice.
And then as Dragon 10, he's still on my team in Dragon Hard 10 as well. He makes that content, and until recently, until actually I was able to pull my Yakarl, he was in Fire Knight. So Fire Knight hard as well,
Okay.
because he's carrying that speed down, the drop defense, the weaken, um, and he has all those multi-hit skills, right? On
Yeah.
his first form. So yeah, first form, boss debuffer, except in Hydra.
Yeah.
Second form, wave clear and Hydra damage dealer. He's even good in clan boss. I use him in my clan boss team.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, you definitely could. Do you use his form 1 at all in Hydra, or is it just leave him in form 2 and that's the way to go?
I used to when my Hydra runs weren't as consistent, but I don't think it's worth it anymore.
Right,
To be
yeah.
fully honest.
That's fair. I think it'd be really hard. You'd have to manual as well. It'd be like maybe swapping the form 1 to just nuke down a decapitated head could be something, but like the AI is not going to know that. It's going to swap at terrible times. So yeah, probably just leave him in.
I'm like Ash. I manual all my
Oh,
Hydra.
nice. Respect. I respect it. But yeah, all right, cool. Well, there we go. I think it's easy as well. Like I mean, even pre-buff Calamitus, I always thought it was so interesting talking to you about him because, like, on an end game account pre-buff, like I wouldn't really have had much use for him. I definitely would have use for him now. I'll tell you that. And I think he's only going to do better in the future. But it's really interesting how even like before he was buffed, you could find so much use for him. Like these mythicals are so impactful for a newer player, someone on progression. Like as you said, like not only is he amazing for the Demon Lord and Chimera and obviously Hydra, but he's just ripping through the waves in all of these dungeons. How do you find it? Do you still use him a lot in Arena? How do you find that? Because we don't have Stone Skin or
So
anything.
arenas, as you climb arena, he gets harder and harder to use.
Yeah.
Because his second form is the big nuker.
Hmm.
It does hit slightly harder, but you need the accuracy in order for him to really hit super hard and put out those big nukes.
Right.
So he gets harder to use as you climb arena. I'm in Gold 4 Live Arena now, and I don't usually use him unless the chat while I'm streaming is like, use your mythical, And then even like after the buff,
Yeah.
you can even use his A3 on his first form in arena. Like if you need it, you know what I mean?
Oh, you definitely can.
It does hit a lot harder. But I've really moved. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. I believe I'm not 100% sure though that I believe that because this is always critical, I think this does crit even let's say magic affinity all the time. I believe that reaction accessories bypass this. I hate when there's stuff like this in the game that's like it's that bothers. I think reaction accessories will still turn this into a non-crit. If they trigger, but yeah, I don't know if you've used them too much with this form, but have you found that? Like, is he always critting magic, or you notice
Haven't
it?
noticed.
Okay,
I haven't
you can look for
noticed.
that in the future and see. Let us know.
Yeah, for sure. But like, personally, I think the Cheshire Cat is way better.
Oh, you have the cat. Oh yeah, cat's
Yeah, I
beastly.
use the cat. Yeah, because of his A3 that gives him an extra turn. He's the same affinity. So as far as arena is concerned, I think there are better options than Calamitus. However, if you just have the hankering to use Calamitus, he's not bad.
No,
he's by no means bad.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and like I mean, again, if you're fighting like Fabians, you're like, how do I deal with this lockout? I mean, just having a nuker that can swap over. Again, any mythical nuker can do it that has a nuker form too. But yeah, swapping over and then nuking that can own that can be really handy. So yeah, cool. All right. I mean, I think that's really cool. Oh, we see some Viper stuff here. I don't know if you're actually throwing anything back in this. Probably not. You didn't.
No, I don't. I got to the point where I was using Corvus for a while for his poison sensitivity.
Oh, yeah,
and I got to the point where I would just throw it on auto and leave it. So I didn't put a preset or anything. So it's just Form 1.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting, this idea of like throwing the debuffs, but it's something I've not done at all. I tried like poison set to do it, and the poison set poisons are not they're not strong enough, and it just didn't work. So I gave up on that trial. That's a clever idea to throw it back. But yeah, we're gonna be jumping over, guys, to Felrus's channel. I think we're talking about, is it like the free champion? So
Free login legendaries. We're gonna rank them.
okay, let's do it. It's gonna be great fun. Felrus, do you have anything that you want to say here at the end of the video? Your faith in Calamitus finally fully vindicated across 2 different forms. Anything you want to say here at the end?
Well, Nub, thank you so much for having me on. It was a great collab, and it's great to showcase one of my favorite champions and get to talk about him with you. I mean, this guy's absolutely awesome. I thought he was awesome before the buff. Now he's like 10 times as awesome. So, you know.
Hell yeah. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to check out the link to Felrus's channel. It'll be in the description, the title, all that stuff. And there'll be a link to our collab over on his channel as well. So go check it out. Thanks for watching. Felrus, thank you for joining, and see you next time. Goodbye.